Hi, I'm Scott,
And I'm Luke.
and we're Android guys,
Give us 5 to 10 minutes of your day
and we'll tell you about a product or service
or an app that you might be interested in.
in just a moment. What do headphones and a 1950s Cadillac have in common? Luke, how are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing great. Let's talk about some headphones.
Yeah, we're talking about Puro right now. These are the PuroQuiet active noise canceling headphones with a built-in mic.
Right?
These are interesting. They come in at $129. They have a color palette that's like a 57 Chevy. It's kind of a main color with white and chrome accents.
There's a couple of black. So there's 4 colors.
Yeah. So it's light pink, dark blue with black instead of the white, teal and white, and red and black.
Nice.
So they're interesting looking, kind of have a little bit of a retro vibe. These are made obviously for anybody, but it seems like they're maybe designed a little bit more for kids.
Yeah. Well, and there's a feature that we'll get into.
Right.
That kind of helps if you're a parent.
Yeah.
Kind of a volume limiting. And
yes.
We'll dive into that.
And a daisy chain sharing kind of idea.
Yeah. And these have long battery life.
Yep.
These have active noise cancellation.
Yep.
So these have a whole suite of features.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and dive into the nitty gritty.
Sounds good.
Okay, we are talking about the PuroQuiets.
Yes.
These are headphones. We're actually taking a look at 3 products from Puro Sound Labs right now. These are a little bit of the 3, the more fashionable, I would say.
Sure.
They have very distinct, I don't call them bold.
No.
They have really cool designs.
Yeah, a little bit more personality.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
go ahead.
The one feature that we did talk about, the noise limiting.
Yes.
This was in the other pair.
Yes.
This seems to be one of Puro Sound Labs' kind of shtick, or maybe one of their calling cards.
Yep.
Hallmarks. What is volume limiting, and why would I want that?
Sure. So their volume limiting, it will limit the volume output of the speakers to 85 decibels, which is the maximum safe sound listening level recommended by many organizations, they say. And this is, they use a signal processing, so you don't even notice that there's a change. But they're great for developing ears. Yeah. Because as you listen to things louder and louder as you get older, it's really easy to damage your hearing without knowing. We live in a world that's very loud, very fast. Keeping your ears safe is important.
Well, and you can't really get it back.
Right.
So there are a couple of things that I could have done better along the way.
Sure.
Growing up, and one of them would be not listening to music as loud as possible just because I could.
Right.
So this is a nice feature.
And growing up, I feel like we had to listen to music super loud to drown out other things.
Yeah.
But with the active noise canceling built into these, you don't have to do that.
So that's an interesting point, because it can offset that.
Yeah.
Where you think, well, I need to turn the volume up so that I don't hear what's going on in that next room. I'm just trying to enjoy my podcast or my playlist.
Right.
And you guys are making a lot of noise in there, or just the general sound of the metro train or the bus.
Right.
I'm hearing a lot of stuff, so I got to jack this volume up.
Right.
Active noise cancellation helps offset that.
Yeah.
So what is the active noise cancellation on this one? Do you know? Yeah.
So this will give you 20 decibel reduction from your outside noise. It says will isolate up to 78% of outside noise.
Okay.
I don't know the correlation between the decibel amount and the percentage amount.
Sure.
But these definitely, you can notice the difference when the active noise canceling is on versus when it's off.
Yeah.
And
if you're limiting, to 85,
right,
22 is a pretty big number.
Sure.
So if that's the max, 22 is a pretty sizable percentage to say, hey, I'm going to do this work so you don't have to go up to 85.
Right.
Now that'll impact the battery.
Yeah.
By doing that. So mileage may vary based off of how much
Sure.
you're using that feature.
Right.
But what kind of battery life are we talking about with these?
So these say 35 hours with active noise canceling off. With it on, you get about 23 hours.
Okay.
But it has 200 hours of standby.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah. So there's no like rechargeable case or anything because obviously these are over-the-ear headphones.
Right.
But 200 hours on a Bluetooth headphone is pretty good.
So I see one other feature here that we could talk about.
Yes.
The daisy chain sharing.
Yeah.
So I believe it's USB-C to C.
It is. And so there's an adapter to hook two headphones together. So
Okay.
if you're listening, especially since this is geared maybe a little bit more towards kids, if you're in the car, you have two kids in the back,
Right.
they each have their pair of headphones, but they can plug in and watch the iPad together. Or,
Right.
You're sitting in line somewhere, you can both have headphones on and share.
Or they can watch
the
each other play the
phone.
Switch or
Yeah.
do whatever.
And not have to worry about bugging, everybody else around them with their noise, but also not worry about, hey, let me have it so I can hear.
Right.
So it's a cool feature. It's not something that you see really at all in any other headphones as far as a sharing from one source.
Yeah, it's definitely not a common feature.
Right.
We received the teal.
Yeah,
and
they're
white.
the teal and white. Yeah.
I like the look of
Yeah,
these.
they're cool looking.
They look like my dad likes to share pictures of old cars with me.
Yeah.
And this just looks like something from the 50s.
Absolutely,
This looks like
man.
A Buick or a Cadillac or something from back in the day.
Yep.
But at the same time, they're very modern looking.
Yeah.
They look like cool retro.
They have a retro
future.
flair to them, like
Yeah.
a nostalgia, like a nod, but they don't look like, they're not bulky, and they're not, they don't have like a big antenna or anything sticking out of
Right.
them.
No, I don't think any kids are going to shy away from this. I think they look pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, and again, they come in 4 different colors.
Yep.
These are the PuroQuiets.
And they come in at $129.
129. Thanks, Luke.
No problem.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the podcast.
Thanks for listening.
We appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, feedback, concerns, comments, anything, shoot us an email at podcast@AndroidGuys.com. We'd love to hear from you one way or the other. Luke, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
I am on Instagram and Twitter at Luke Gaul, Gaul.
And I'm on Instagram at Scott Webster and Twitter as SWebster77. Until next time, thanks for listening.
See ya.